Are you stuck in a pattern of behaviour and it's just making you miserable? And maybe you know perfectly well what you should be doing, but for some reason it's just too difficult. And no matter how fixed your resolve or how psyched you were last night lying in bed making endless promises to yourself, you just can't seem to make a start. Hi everyone, Lesley Hornsby again. Today I'm talking about getting in the right headspace to effect a lasting change with the help of NLP. And for those that don't know what that is, NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It's just a collection of models, strategies and techniques that enable you to have better understanding of how to deal with your past, present and future. And if you find that that's something that interests you and you'd like to know more, then please just hit subscribe and you'll be notified when I next post. It may be that there is discord in your life and you want to change something. NLP can help you bring that change about. And part of that process is understanding how your current thinking is holding you back. An NLP practitioner will facilitate a journey to greater insight into new and better ways of being with yourself, your thoughts, and with others. So what kind of changes am I talking about? Well, it can be anything really. It may be that you've decided this time you're going to smash that diet, or finally stop smoking, or get off the couch and get fit. Now, most of us will find that this decision is then followed by two stages. Firstly, actually making a start, and I discuss how to overcome procrastination in another video. And then there is having made a start, ensuring that you stick to it. Understanding how we think and process the external world is a good place to start in explaining why changing your behaviour can be so challenging, because essentially that's all we're talking about, making a decision and taking action to alter your usual behaviour patterns. Now, in order to feel comfortable over time, we develop an internal view or map of our world, and then we form certain expectations based on that view. When expectation and our perception of reality match, well, we experience a sense of security. By example, consider how easily children seem to adapt to change. The simple reason is that children have a lot less life experience than adults, and therefore fewer expectations that can cause an internal conflict. So, firstly, you have to resist a tendency to predict the likelihood of success or failure based on previous experiences. In NLP, we call this generalization one of the three major thought processes, which also includes distortion and deletion, and I'll talk about those things in greater detail in another video. Generalization is when one specific experience represents a whole class of experiences. Now, it can be beneficial when learning about the physical world. For example, we come to recognize that a handle can take many forms, from a door handle to the handle of a cup. And we understand their use by generalizing them into a group, so that we don't need then to relearn every time we encounter a different kind of handle. We just already know what it's for and work out how to use it based on previous experiences. You can develop a generalized view of something on the flimsiest of evidence too. Let's say you're out walking one day and you see a group of teenagers wearing hoodies and they're behaving in an aggressive and unsociable manner. Even that one incident may tempt you to begin to generalize and regard all youths in hoodies as antisocial and aggressive. Now, obviously that is an oversimplification of how such attitudes develop, but hopefully you get the idea of how some generalizations are formed. The same thinking process can apply when chasing a dream or trying to achieve a goal. Like it or not, and this sadly applies particularly to modern women born around the middle of the last century, self-confidence, self-belief are often far less robust than that of our male contemporaries. There is sometimes a tendency to adopt a defeatist attitude, irrespective of whether there's any foundation to the belief that something is either too difficult or beyond you in some way. Statements such as, "I'm rubbish at dieting, I can never stick to it," or "my relationships never last and I'm never going to find love." These are not exactly uncommon, but you know what? These statements constitute a generalization. And even if you don't say them out loud, they can end up working as a self-fulfilling prophecy, simply because you're not allowing yourself an alternative belief. Change is often difficult, but changing our perspective and mindset is the real challenge. The fact is that whilst change might seem to be the hurdle, besides generalization, you also have to factor in your resistance to it. If you can find a way to lower that resistance, then change becomes much easier and, more importantly, lasting. Now, the reason for resistance might not be immediately evident to you either, but with a coach's help, you can begin to think ecologically, and that's an NLP term that encourages you to consider every aspect of your desired outcome. At this stage, it's likely a coach will begin with meta-model type questions, and these are questions that are designed to challenge your beliefs, test whether they make sense, and if not, begin to weaken them to help you revise them. For example, a coach may ask you to reflect on whether changing X can only be achieved at the expense of Y, and then encourage you to consider if both these things are equally important to you. This is called an ecology check and needs to be worked through and resolved to head off potential self-sabotage. Let's say you're thinking about going on a diet, but that means completely giving up chocolate, or you believe that all diets mean endlessly eating tasteless, boring foods. Unless you resolve those conflicts and find inner congruence, this unconscious resistance will limit your chances of success. Imagine you want to stop smoking, but you're afraid you'll put on weight. By planning on how you might manage that imagined weight gain, you'll be less able to justify it as an excuse for inaction. Resistance can take many forms and often comes to light through the kinds of excuses that we make. During a coaching session, helping a client get clarity on the reason behind an excuse is an important part of the process. A fellow coach of mine recalled coaching a couple who were making excuses about why they hadn't yet had children. What emerged in the session was they didn't actually want children, but they were being pressured by their respective parents who did want them to. The excuses were a way to deflect the pressure they felt. The coach also encouraged them to reflect on and unburden themselves for feelings of guilt and acknowledge that their childless state was a personal choice and did not deserve censor or criticism. By accepting that, the necessity for making those excuses disappeared. It's vital then to know the root cause of a pretext and get clear on whether the desired change is coming from you or being driven externally. Really getting clear about what you want will help you recognize that excuses are just a distraction. Now, that might sound oversimplistic, but by interrupting this pattern and owning the desired change, your chances of success will significantly improve. As you move towards this kind of receptive and open state, then you're in a greater position to apply a variety of NLP techniques, and there are many of them, from reframing, disassociation, swish, circle of excellence. I could go on, and I'm going to be talking about all these brilliant NLP techniques in future videos, but all of these are designed to guide you through the process of learning how to change self-destructive or unwanted behaviour patterns for good. I hope you found this introductory video into achieving the best mindset that you can in order to maximise NLP techniques created to help you make a lasting change. Join me again next time when I'll be offering more insights into achieving your best life and how NLP can help you get there. If you want to know more about working with a life coach, then head over to my website. The address is underneath this video, and also hit subscribe to be notified of all new videos. But for now, it's been great to have you with me. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.